strategy I want to have us think about here is to understand why they're not achieving. When people miss their expectations or miss your expectations, there are two broad reasons for it. It's either motivation, right? They don't see it as a high priority, at least not right now, or they don't enjoy it, or it's ability, right? They can't do it, they're struggling with it, they don't know how to do it, or it's a combination of both. And often it's a combination of both. Now we group these causes into what we call the 6 sources of influence. I want to give you sort of a 2-minute overview of that. So when people ask themselves, should I do this? It boils down into 2 questions. Can I do it, and will it be worth it? Right? So the can I do it is the ability side. The will it be worth it is the motivation side. And that's the backbone of the model. The ribs of the model are the sources of our motivation and ability. Some are personal, some are social, and some are structural. So personal motivation and ability is the stuff you bring with you to work, right? Your interest in the job, your passion for the work, your training, your knowledge, your expertise and experience. The mistake we tend to make as leaders and as colleagues is to assume that if a person has enough personal motivation and ability, that's enough. It isn't. I tend to go with a skeptic. Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, one of the quotes he has that I like is, if you take a leader with an excellent reputation and put him in an industry with a less than excellent reputation, it's the industry that will maintain its reputation. Get the picture, right? So you might have great motivation and ability, but you land in an organization where the social environment, meaning your boss's boss, your peers, your customers, don't want you to do and will punish you if you do what you think is the right thing, you're likely to change. Or if you land in an organization where there's no social support, where you know what you want to do, but you can't get it from marketing, you can't get it from the other parts of your organization, you're the one who's likely to change. And then structural motivation ability matters too. Structural motivation I think of as the P's. Your pay, your promotions, your perks, your punishments, right? Think of the different P's. And 6, the structural ability, is everything we've learned from Lean and Six Sigma around how do you design a workplace to make the right stuff easier and the wrong stuff harder. Oftentimes you end up with obstacles in all 6 sources. And let me use the physicians at Harvard as an example. So here's the kind of thing we would typically hear. She'd say, in terms of personal motivation, I get immediate fulfillment from working with my patients, but working in the lab, a lot fewer immediate rewards. I know I need to do it, it's important, but I kind of don't like it, right? At the personal ability side, by the time I get done with my patients, I'm exhausted. I don't know how to pick myself up and get refocused. So I spend 6 hours of the day working with my patients. Now I'm in my lab and I'm like worn out. How do I pick myself up? That's an ability problem. Now let's go to source 3. Social motivation. Others discourage it. My practice partners want me to take on more patients, right? They see that as how I support the team, at least day to day. At the ability side, others make it hard. We schedule department meetings at the very same time when I should be in my lab. How do I handle that, right? And at the structural level, I have to maintain my productivity at work. I have a huge volume of patients to see. That's where my paycheck comes from, right? I've got to do that. If I don't do that, I could lose my job. And at the ability side of the structure, my lab is all the way across Harvard's campus. How am I going to get there, right? Is there some way that I could coordinate this to make this easier, right? So if you look at obstacles in all 6 sources, it sort of makes sense as to why this person isn't doing what they say they want to do. See how this is just trying to hold them accountable isn't enough? You have to get inside their head and understand, right, why they're not doing. It's an influence problem, not just a hold their feet to the fire problem. So I want to test you a little bit. So I'm going to put up some quick examples. I want you to first to say, is it motivation or ability? And then is it personal, social, or structural? So here's the first one. Funny thing, Jordan encourages me to keep up our charts, says it's really important, then he never gives me his numbers, so I can't do it. Is that motivation or ability? It's ability, right? And is it personal, social, or structural? I'm going to say it's social, right? Because it's my colleague who's not giving me the stuff I need, so I'm being held back by my colleague.